You ever notice how quiet Halloween night really is? The kind of quiet that feels wrong, like the world's holding its breath, waiting for something to move in the dark. The wind stops, the streetlights flicker, and somewhere out there, you swear you heard footsteps. Not loud, just close. Too close. And when you turn around, there's no one. But the air feels heavy, like something's watching. Just outside the glow of your porch light. Welcome to Scary Nights by Malik. Tonight you'll hear 3 terrifying Halloween stories. Real nights, real people, and things that should have never come out after dark. So turn off the lights, put your phone down, and listen carefully. Because tonight, you might hear them too. They say on Halloween night, the scarecrows wake up. Not all of them, just the ones made with real bones. It was the night of October 31st, cold, still, and quiet. The kind of night where the air itself feels wrong. I was walking home from a friend's Halloween party out in the country. My car had broken down on the old Miller Road, so I decided to take the shortcut through the fields. Big mistake. The moon was high, the sky pale and empty. The only sound was the crunch of dry corn stalks brushing against my jacket. Every few steps, I thought I heard something behind me. But when I turned, nothing. Just the wind. There was a scarecrow in the middle of the field. Tall, crooked. Its head was a burlap sack, with holes cut for eyes and a crude stitched smile across the front. It looked old. Too old. Like it had been standing there for years. I laughed to myself. Nice decoration, I said under my breath. Farmers really going all out for Halloween, huh? Then I kept walking. About 20 steps later, I looked back. The scarecrow was closer. At first, I thought maybe I'd turned the wrong way. Or maybe there were 2 of them. But no, same crooked posture. Same ripped flannel shirt. It had moved. I stood there, frozen. My heart thudding so loud I could hear it in my ears. The wind picked up, brushing against the dry corn, making them whisper like voices. I took another step back. The scarecrow tilted its head, slowly, like it was listening. Okay. Nope. I turned and started walking faster, my shoes crunching against the dirt, breath fogging in the air. I didn't look back for a full minute. When I finally did, it was standing at the edge of the path. Closer again. I ran. I didn't stop until I reached the old fence line near the woods. My lungs burned. I turned around, gasping. Nothing. The scarecrow was gone. I laughed, half hysterical. Okay, calm down. It's just the dark. You're tired. You're seeing things. Then something moved behind the fence. A shape, tall, still, watching. I turned and bolted through the trees. Branches whipped my arms, the ground uneven beneath my feet. I could hear footsteps behind me now, slow, heavy, dragging, like something wearing boots filled with sand. When I finally made it home, I slammed the door shut and locked it. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the key. I looked out the window. The field beyond my backyard was empty. For a while, then I saw it, standing just outside the tree line, the scarecrow. It didn't move, didn't sway with the wind, just stood there, staring at my house. I shut the curtains and told myself I'd imagined it. By morning it was gone. I tried to forget. Told myself it was just Halloween nerves. Probably some drunk kids moving a decoration around to mess with people. But the next night, I heard something outside my window. A soft scrape, like straw brushing against glass. When I pulled back the curtain, it was standing in my yard. Its head tilted, that same stitched smile staring right at me. I called my friend Chris. Dude, you're not gonna believe this, I whispered. There's a scarecrow in my yard. It followed me from the fields. He laughed. You serious? It's probably some prank. You sure it's not a Halloween prop? I saw it move, I said. Man, you need to get some sleep. I'll come by tomorrow. He didn't. The next day, his mom called me. Chris never made it home. They found his car parked near Miller Road, the door open, keys still inside. The corn around it was flattened, like something big had walked through. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat by the window with a baseball bat, watching the yard. Midnight came and went. Nothing. Then, around 2 a.m., I heard my back door creak open. Every hair on my body stood up. I gripped the bat tighter. Footsteps. Slow. Dragging. And then, breathing. Right outside my bedroom door, I whispered, "Chris?" No answer. The doorknob turned. I swung the bat with everything I had. The door flew open, but no one was there. Just the smell of dirt and rot. When I turned back toward the window, my heart stopped. The scarecrow was inside the room, standing by the corner, head tilted, arms hanging at its sides. The moonlight hit its face just enough for me to see something beneath the burlap. A human jaw. Teeth. Skin. I screamed and ran for the front door. But when I pulled it open, another figure stood on the porch. Another scarecrow. And another behind it. And another. All of them smiling. I backed away, tripping over the couch. The light flickered, and when it came back, they were gone. The house was silent again. I thought I was losing my mind, until I looked at the wall. There, pressed into the dust, were handprints. Large, dirty, and in the middle of the floor, bits of straw. That was 3 days ago. Now, every night, I hear them outside, shuffling through the leaves, dragging their straw-filled legs closer. Sometimes I see their faces pressed against the glass. Not burlap anymore. Real. Human. I think I know what they want. Every scarecrow has to start with something. A frame, a body, a soul to keep it standing. And tonight, it's Halloween again. The wind is picking up. The cornfields are whispering. They're coming for a new one. If you walk home through the fields tonight and you see a scarecrow, don't look at it. Don't turn your back. And whatever you do, don't run. Because it already knows where you live. Tell us in the comments, what would you do if a scarecrow followed you home this Halloween night? They say if you carve a pumpkin after midnight on Halloween, it remembers your face. And if you cut it wrong, it might try to fix itself. It was October 31st. Cold wind, full moon, perfect Halloween night. Tyler and his friends, Jake and Mia, had spent the evening trick-or-treating, watching horror movies, and eating way too much candy. But Tyler wasn't ready to call it a night. "Let's carve one more pumpkin," he said, grinning. Jake groaned. "Dude, it's like midnight. I'm done." "Come on," Tyler insisted. "One last one." For the porch, they were in Tyler's garage. A single light bulb hung from the ceiling, flickering every few seconds. Pumpkin guts were everywhere, on the floor, on the table, even on Mia's hoodie. Mia rolled her eyes. "Fine. But I'm not touching the slimy stuff." Tyler went to grab another pumpkin from the box. But there was only one left. It was bigger than the others. The skin was darker, almost gray-orange, and cold to the touch. When Tyler lifted it, he swore he heard something inside. Shift, like something soft brushing the inner wall. He laughed it off. Probably just the seeds. He set it down on the table. The light bulb above them buzzed, then dimmed again. Jake muttered, "Man, I hate that light. It's like something out of a horror movie." Tyler grinned. "Exactly." He grabbed the carving knife. The blade scraped against the pumpkin's surface, making a wet squeal. The sound made Mia flinch. Ugh! Stop doing that. Tyler smirked. You're jumpy. He drew the outline of a face. 2 big eyes. A crooked mouth. Long, sharp teeth. But when he stepped back, something about it looked wrong. The eyes were uneven, and the mouth looked almost like it was smiling. Too wide, too human. Jake laughed. That thing looks creepy as hell. Tyler shrugged. That's the point. He began carving. Each cut sounded wetter than it should. When he pulled the knife out, the pumpkin seemed to exhale, a faint hiss like escaping air. Mia frowned. Did you hear that? Jake nodded slowly. Yeah. They all stared. The pumpkin sat still on the table. Then the light bulb above flickered again. Off, on, off. When it came back, the pumpkin's face was different. The mouth had shifted, wider, the teeth sharper. Tyler froze. Wait, did one of you touch it? No, Mia whispered. You saw that, right? Jake picked up his phone and shone the flashlight at it. The carved grin looked deeper now. And there, right under the lid, something pale glistened. Seeds? Tyler asked. Jake leaned closer. No, that looks like... The lid snapped shut. Jake yelped and stumbled back, nearly dropping his phone. Mia screamed. Tyler stared, breathing hard. Okay, it's just the heat from the bulb. Made it move or something, but the air in the garage was freezing. The pumpkin sat still again. Only now, its carved eyes were looking straight at him. Tyler forced a laugh. You guys are freaking yourselves out. Watch. He reached for the lid. Tyler, don't, Mia warned, but he lifted it anyway. Inside, there were no seeds, no pulp, just something pale and soft, like skin. Jake whispered, Dude, what the hell is that? Then it blinked. Tyler dropped the lid and stumbled back. No. The pumpkin shook once. Then again, the carved face twitched, like muscles moving beneath flesh. The mouth smiled wider. Mia bolted for the door. I'm not staying here! But when she grabbed the handle, it wouldn't turn. Locked. Jake ran to help her, yanking and kicking. It's stuck! Behind them, the pumpkin made a wet, stretching sound. The carved mouth opened, and from inside came a whisper. You cut it wrong. The light went out, screaming, footsteps. The sound of something heavy falling. When the light flickered back on, the pumpkin was sitting alone on the table. The knife lay beside it, bloody, though no one was hurt enough to bleed that much. No Tyler, no Jake, no Mia. Just silence. The next morning, Tyler's mom found the garage door unlocked, the light still on, and on the table, 3 pumpkins, each one carved with a face. Jake's, Mia's, and Tyler's. The police said it was a prank. Kids disappearing on Halloween wasn't new after all. But the neighbor next door told a different story. He said he heard voices that night, laughing, then screaming, then silence. And at around 3 a.m., he saw the garage light turn off on its own. Right before it did, he swore he saw someone standing inside. Not Tyler, not Jake, not Mia, someone else, someone tall, with a pumpkin for a head, carved in a wide human grin. They say if you carve a pumpkin after midnight, it keeps a part of you inside it. A piece of your face, your breath, your life. So this Halloween, when you're carving your jack-o'-lantern and you see the mouth shift, the eyes move just a little, don't blink, because it's already seen you. Tell us in the comments, would you still carve a pumpkin after midnight? They say every Halloween, a mirror can show you more than just your reflection. It can show you who's really standing behind you. It was October 31st, the night of the party. Alicia had just moved into her new apartment, a small place above an old antique shop that smelled faintly of dust and candle wax. She wanted to make a good first impression with her new neighbors. so she decided to host a Halloween party. By 9 p.m., the music was loud, lights were dim, and the air was full of laughter and fake cobwebs. Everyone wore masks: witches, skeletons, vampires. And in the corner of the living room stood a tall, old mirror she'd found in the attic when she moved in. It was big, with a gold frame and strange carvings around the edges. Tiny faces, all looking outward. When her friend Mark arrived, he pointed at it. "Creepy thing. You sure it's not haunted?" he joked. Alicia laughed. "Probably just old. I thought it looked cool." But when she turned away, she could have sworn she saw something shift in the reflection. Just for a second. Like someone standing behind her. She shook it off. Too much caffeine, she thought. Hours passed. The party grew louder, drunker. Someone spilled red punch on the carpet. Someone else turned off the lights to tell ghost stories. And that's when Mark said, "Let's play a game." He pointed at the mirror. "Ever heard of the Halloween reflection challenge?" Everyone groaned. "That TikTok thing? Seriously?" But he grinned. "Come on. You stand in front of a mirror at midnight, stare into your reflection and say, 'Show me who I'll become.' They say, if the mirror's haunted, you'll see a stranger looking back." Alicia rolled her eyes. "That's just superstition." Still, she glanced at the clock. 11:57. Someone turned off the music. Someone else whispered, "Do it. It's almost midnight." And suddenly, the room went quiet. The laughter, the chatter, it all stopped. Everyone gathered around the mirror, faces glowing faintly in the candlelight. Alicia stood in front of it, feeling a chill crawl up her neck. The gold frame seemed darker now, almost breathing. "All right," she said softly. "Let's get this over with." She stared at her reflection. Her own eyes stared back, nervous, uncertain. Behind her, her friends waited, whispering. Then she whispered the words, "Show me who I'll become." The candle flame flickered. A faint hum echoed through the room, like wind trapped in glass. Her reflection blinked, once, twice, then smiled. But Alicia hadn't. Her breath caught. Her reflection's smile grew wider. Its lips moved, but she didn't say a word. The reflection leaned closer to the glass, whispering something she couldn't hear. The room felt colder. Everyone was watching, wide-eyed. "Did you see that?" Mark whispered. Her reflection. Then the mirror went dark. The reflection vanished. The candles blew out, all at once. Screams filled the room. Someone dropped their drink. Glass shattered. When the lights came back on, Alicia was gone. Only her ma. Her friends searched everywhere. The hallway, the bathroom, even the stairwell. Nothing. They called her name again and again. No answer. But when they looked back at the mirror, her reflection was there, standing perfectly still, smiling. Mark stepped closer, heart pounding. "Alicia?" The reflection tilted its head. Then, slowly, it raised its hand and waved. But when Mark reached out to touch the glass, the reflection's fingers didn't meet his. They came through the mirror. He stumbled back, shouting. The others screamed. And just like that, the hand vanished. The mirror went black again. Police came later that night. They found nothing strange. No signs of forced entry, no hidden doors. Just an old antique mirror covered with a dusty cloth. The shop owner downstairs, an old man with trembling hands, said softly, "I told her not to take it." "That mirror doesn't belong to anyone anymore," Mark frowned. "What do you mean?" The old man sighed. "Long ago, a woman lived here. She was obsessed with beauty. She made a deal with the mirror to stay young forever. But when her time came, the mirror took her instead. It keeps what it's shown." Mark looked around the room, uneasy. "So what happens now?" The old man's eyes lowered. "Now, it waits for the next one to look too long." That night, Mark couldn't sleep. He sat alone in his apartment, thinking about Alicia. Her laugh, her costume, her scream. At 3 a.m., his phone buzzed. Unknown number. He hesitated, then answered. A soft voice whispered through static. "Mark, look behind you." He froze. Slowly, he turned toward his hallway mirror. At first, it was just his reflection. Then, a second figure appeared behind him. Alicia, smiling. The screen of his phone went black. The next morning, the mirror from Alicia's apartment was gone. The police said someone must have taken it overnight. No fingerprints, no sign of forced entry. Only a single note left on the floor, written in red marker. "Show me who I'll become." And now, every Halloween night, people say that mirror appears somewhere new. In someone's home, in a party, in a store window. If you look into it at midnight, you might see a stranger looking back. And if they smile, don't smile back, because that's not your reflection anymore. Tell us in the comments, would you dare look into the mirror this Halloween night?